but it's so unlike her to not come back for Dylan. I mean, if I had to guess, I would say Nikki probably had like 3 beers, and Doug had said that she took one shot with like 2 friends that she had saw out there that she knew.
They returned to Doug's house, hoping she made it back. But the house was empty. The babysitter left. Nikki wasn't there. Her phone stayed off. Not a trace.
And I mean, I don't know what she would have had at the sardine can, if anything, I'm not sure. I know Doug said that the last drink he got her was a water, so add the water.
I'm going to get straight to the point real quick. Do you think Doug had anything to do with her disappearance?
He was with me the entire time.
Okay.
I mean...
Did you have anything from her disappearance?
No, I definitely did not. I like Nikki. I mean, she's a very nice girl.
Any enemies that she has that you know?
I mean, I don't think so, you know. I don't think that she's very social, you know, with being pregnant and with being home with the kid. I mean, she does work a little bit, but I mean, I don't know any of the, you know, I know that the girl that was babysitting works with her at this restaurant that she sometimes works at.
So who's the babysitter?
What's her name? I'm not sure. I know, I mean, I had never met her before, but I know that Doug had said that they were close.
So it's someone maybe closer to their age friend-wise, or was it like a teenage kid, or?
It's one of Nikki's friends. I mean, they both have kids. They work together, and I think that they'll like both babysit for one another once in a while. She's got a unique name. That's why I can't think of it right now. It's like Harley or something like that. I know that the other detectives got her information of what her name was and all of her info.
Well, what time did he text you to come pick him up to give him a ride back to his car?
I mean, he had texted me at about 3:30, maybe 3:45. He had asked, like, hey, you know, are you doing anything? You can give me a ride to the car. And then when I was on my way there, he's like, well, I called the police to file a missing person, so I don't know if you want to wait. And I was like, oh, I'll come over.
What kind of car does he drive?
A Maxima?
Color?
Gray, black?
Does he have any other kind of cars?
No.
What about Nikki?
Nikki's got a Rendezvous.
What color is that one?
Brown. I'm not really sure.
Does Doug drive that?
It's in the garage. I mean, I've never seen him drive it, but I'm not sure whether he ever had in the past. I'm not sure.
By dawn, Doug had messaged and called everyone they knew. But the chilling moment came when they realized Nikki hadn't come back to breastfeed Dylan, something she had never skipped in 6 months.
Think of anything else? Because I'm going to type up a quick statement about pretty much what we went over here. And then I'll come back and we can review it.
Alright.
We can make some changes if need be. And we'll go from there.
Alright.
So, need to refill the water or anything like that?
You got a water fountain out there, I'll fill it up.
I don't even know if we do. Neither of us really work in this building, so, let me see. I can grab you a bottle of water if you just want to see if that. You gotta use the bath? a real quick clarification while I'm typing this up. So when you went to the girl's house to go to the concert,
Yeah.
you said Aaron drove everybody?
No, Mike Gillespie.
Mike Gillespie drove everybody.
Except for me, I took my car, yeah.
And you were alone?
Aaron rode with me,
Okay.
but it was the assumption that he was gonna get a ride back
Okay.
with Mike.
Okay, so Mike drove everybody, but you and Aaron?
Yeah, Aaron rode with me just because I was gonna be alone.
Okay.
So,
Okay. I'm getting there, man. But what time were you guys leaving the watering hole?
I mean, I think, you know, the first time she called, I was like trying to figure out where she is, because at this point, she was like running.
No, I'm saying, what time were you and Doug and...
Me and Doug leaving the watering hole.
Yeah,
On our way to the sardine
when
can.
you ran the Angela flat.
Okay.
What time would you say? You said that...
I mean, that was probably at like 11:30 that we
Okay.
saw her, we started talking to her, and then we were probably walking
half
out.
hour, midnight
Yeah.
or so, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
A haunting theory began to form. What if Nikki had trusted a stranger's invitation? With her open nature, she could have accepted a ride without hesitation, never realizing the danger.
What's up? Well, yeah, I said I'm sitting in the interview room at the sheriff's office. I wasn't joking. Filling out my statement. Although all the things that happened last night, you know, just like the whole list of events that led to her disappearance, you know. Well, I mean, we don't know where she is, you know, we can't find her. So they want to, I mean, I went over there to give Doug her, what's that? I said, well, I went over there to give Doug a ride to his car, but, you know, he had called the missing persons report in. I figured I'd stop by there and try to help any way I could, so. And they wanted me to come and give a statement, so. I don't know. Yeah. No. No one has seen or heard from her. No, but that's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. See you, Aaron. Bye.
It only took 3 beers to knock her off balance. That night was no different. And when her phone died in the silence of the night, no one could reach her again.
A little more clarification. So, when you guys leave the watering hole, you drive to the sardine can?
Well, no, we're on our way, but this is when he's talking to her and she's already left.
Okay, so she already left. So, you said you were at you said you were walking to the watering hole around 11:30. So you guys...
No. Over the watering hole?
Well, and then you ran to Angela Fat Love.
Okay, yes.
And you talked to her
Yes.
for a half hour, so then
Yeah.
at midnight. Everybody else left at around 11:30.
Yeah.
You and Doug are at the watering hole. You talked to
Yes.
Angela till like midnight about...
Maybe a few minutes after.
Okay, so then you guys leave around midnight, let's
We're
say.
walking out the door,
Yep.
and Doug gets a phone call, and he answers it, and it's Angela saying, hey, where are you guys? You know, why aren't you here?
Okay.
But then Nikki's mad because she must have called prior to that, and he didn't answer, and then he answered when, you know, a friend of ours' sister
so you guys...
was married. So
Okay.
then, she, you know, I think at that point is when she's like, I'm out of here, I'm leaving. You know, so then we're sitting in the car, and Doug is talking to her and trying...
At the watering hole yet?
At the watering hole,
Okay.
yeah. So I think the first call was like 12:17 that he was talking to her.
And you guys were sitting in the watering
And we're sitting, yeah, in my car in the watering hole. And then you know, she won't stop walking, you know, he's like, just go back to the watering hole. So then, you know, I start driving to go,
The sardine can.
to get to the sardine can, yeah.
So then you guys go to the sardine can.
Well, no. So then I pulled my car over and I said, hey Doug, let me talk to her. Maybe I can talk to her, she'll let us know where she is.
Okay.
So then, her phone, you know, dies out, he keeps trying to call back, goes straight to voicemail. So then we drove around that area a little bit.
So
to try to,
before you even went
Yeah.
to the sardine can?
before we went to the sardine
Okay.
can, we drove around for a little bit, you know, probably 20 minutes looking for her. Then we went to the sardine can to see if she went back to the sardine can. And by that time, you know, all of our friends, you know, none of them were there.
Okay. And then you guys talked to Aaron. Aaron texted you or called?
Aaron texted me
And said
he
that
texted
Nikki had
Doug.
taken off. Did he say that he saw Nikki?
Yeah, he said that he tried to stop her, but she was too bullheaded and just took off anyway. But that's, you know, at the same time that's happening is when Doug's talking to her on the phone, because at this point,
Aaron texted
you know,
you?
he had texted me, and I think he
Okay.
texted Doug too, because we're like, what happened, you know, that she took off,
So
but,
where did he say that he last saw her?
I mean, he told Doug, not me, but that she was walking south on Maple Street.
Okay.
And that's where he had tried to stop her
Okay.
from
Taking off.
going. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Yep. Aaron didn't see her while he was driving his car. They're at the tiki bar, and she went running out from there. And from there, he tried to stop her and say, hey, you know, why are you leaving? Come back in. I didn't, you know, he wasn't in a car saying, hey, jump in the car.
Oh, okay.
She just ran away from the tiki bar.
Gotcha.
Is there a bathroom right around here?
You know,
Yeah, right down to the right. I'm trying to find where I have this statement printed and it'll be done. Right there, yeah.
Doug finally found his phone around 9 a.m., but Nikki was still gone. At first, he thought she was just angry cooling off somewhere, but by noon it became clear she had completely disappeared.
Alright. If there's anything in here that we need to change, just let me know and I'll, stop and cross it out and I can go back and change it.
On May 21st, 2016, I met with Anna Caters and Detective Kingston in an interview room at the Brown County Sheriff's Office. The purpose of this meeting was for me to provide information on a missing persons case. I'm giving this statement voluntarily, no threats or promises have been made to me. I've been friends with Doug Dietrich for the past 17 years. We have been friends since high school, and I consider him one of my best friends. Doug has been dating Nikki Vanderheiden, is that her last name?
That was her married last name.
Okay.
Meyer is like her you know, her maiden
Her real
last
name? So she goes by Nikki Meyer?
Well, I don't know. She must have not changed her last name yet.
Okay, so
That's what Doug gave originally, was
Okay.
Vanderheiden as the name.
Okay, for the past year and a half. Nikki's been living with Doug for the past year, and they have one child together. The name's Dylan, who is 6 months old. Nikki also has 2 other children, a boy and a girl, with another man who I do not know. I would consider Doug and Nikki's relationship as good. They have problems like every other couple. Nikki and Doug fight every now and then, mostly when Nikki is drinking. On one occasion, after the Packers-Cardinals playoff game, A group of friends was at the bar east, and Nikki attempted to take off walking. A Green Bay police squad picked her up and brought her back to the bar. I would consider Nikki a very good mother who is proactive. Yesterday, May 20th, 2016, a large group of friends went to the Steel Panther concert at the Watering Hole in Howard. The following people attended this concert: Aaron Grolakowski. Kalinsky?
Yeah.
I got it wrong?
Courtney Grolakowski, yeah, he went twice.
No one believed Nikki would abandon her baby. No one believed she'd walk away and not return. The only explanation left was chilling. An accident or something worse had happened the night everyone was too distracted to notice.
Kulinski.
Aaron Kalinsky, Darcy Lipsky, Crystal Kane, Mike Gillespie, Angela Cormier, Courtney Grolakowski, Scott Peterson, and I. We all met at Angela Cormier's house. Aaron drove with me, while Mike drove everyone else to the concert. We arrived at the Watering Hole around 7:30 p.m., and Doug and Nikki arrived around 8 p.m. Doug had drove Nikki to the concert in his Nissan Maxima. Around 11:30 p.m., Mike left the Watering Hole with everyone except Doug and I. As Doug and I were walking out of the bar, we ran into an old friend, Angela Fatla, who we talked to for a while. While we were talking to Angela Fatla, Angela Cormier called Doug. Is that right?
Well, no, we were walking out, going to the sardine can, and Angela called as he's like, as we're coming out of the bar, he hears his phone ring.
Okay.
And then he grabs it and answers it. And then Angela must have, said to the group, like, oh, that, I just got hold of Doug, they're on their way. And that's when Nikki freaked out at the sardine can. Not that I was there, but that's what I'm assuming.
You talked to Angela Fatla for a while you were walking out of the Watering Hole. Angela Cormier called Doug. Doug answered the phone, and they spoke to her briefly.
Yeah, where are you?
Yeah.
We're on our way.
I think Nikki had previously tried calling Doug, and he did not answer. Doug and I left the Watering Hole around midnight and drove to the sardine can where everyone else had gone.
When Doug got a call from Angela, Nikki seemed to snap. She stormed off into the night without a word. No goodbye, just a haunting silence that lingered in everyone's minds.
No. We get into his car, and that's when Nikki starts calling him.
Okay.
And that's when we know that Nikki left the sardine can. So she calls him, the first time was like 12:16.
Okay, so right here.
So we probably did actually walk to the car at 12:16.
Okay. At about 12:15, Doug received a phone call from Nikki
while we're in the
she
car.
was leaving the sardine can and she was walking. We were sitting in my car at the Watering Hole parking lot. I changed that at this time. Around this time, Aaron
See, I don't know if Aaron had sent us what happened later. You know what I mean? Because we were already talking to Nikki, so we knew she was walking away from the bar at the time. So he didn't really need to tell us. Like, he told us later because we were like, what in the hell is going on? He had texted me later that, she...
So later, Aaron
she
texted Doug and I and said that Nikki had taken off walking. Aaron said he last noticed Nikki walking south on Maple Street when he tried to stop her before she left the bar, but she was too bullheaded and took off.
Yeah.
At about 12:30 p.m., we were driving to the sardine can when Nikki called Doug and was yelling at him. I had Doug hand me the phone, and I attempted to speak with Nikki to get her to tell me where she was. Nikki wasn't making much sense and thought I was Doug. Shortly after this, Nikki's phone went dead. Either she hung up or her phone died. Doug attempted to call her back, and her phone went straight to voicemail. At about 1:15 a.m., Doug and I drove around for about 25 minutes looking for Nikki.
Well,
At the tiki bar, Nikki bolted out the door, ignoring a friend's desperate attempt to stop her. It was impulsive, but knowing her reckless streak, no one could predict what might come next.
Between the 12:36 call and 1:15, we were looking for Nikki.
Okay.
At probably 1:15 is when we get to the sardine can and we start asking people, hey, have you seen this girl? Or we thought our best chance was that maybe she was, back at the sardine can once her phone died, or, that she ended up going back there at some point when she cooled off.
So between 12:30 and 1:15, you drove around looking for Nikki. At about 1:15, Doug and I, about 1:15, you arrived at the bar, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure that that's the exact time, but we drove around that and we left,
At about 1:15, approximately.
We're driving around looking.
We were unable to find her, so we went to the sardine can. Upon arriving at the sardine can, all of our friends had left. I asked around, and two guys who I do not know, said Nikki had left a while ago. We stayed at the sardine can for about 20 minutes. When we left, we drove around again looking for Nikki but could not find her. I would guess that Doug tried calling Nikki at least 20 times without any answer.
Yeah. One of the issues that we ran into is, like, Erin didn't tell us she was on Maple Street. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't get that information until afterwards that she was on Maple. So I was just kind of guessing, you know, I was driving up and around.
When did Erin text you that?
Erin texted me at 3:30 in the morning. When I got back to my house, he had texted me because we had let him know that we couldn't get a hold of her. Let me see exactly. All right. Yeah, so like I sent him a text at 12:56 saying, "What did you say to Nikki?" You know, and then I don't know if my phone had died at some point, and I got this when I replugged it in and got my battery charged up. But he sent me a text saying nothing. She went off on her own.
And what time was that at?
Well, the text said it's coming through at 3:31, but my phone had died. So when I plugged my phone back in, then it shows. Yeah, then it shows what time I received it. But he sent nothing. She went off on her own. I tried to throw her.
That's the time. 3:30 a.m. is the time.
Is the time that it came through because my phone, you know, I put on the charger.
In his formal statement, the friend confirmed Nikki was a good mother, but alcohol made her spiral. That night started with a few drinks and ended with a terrifying void no one could fill.
And then
so when you powered it back up,
then it popped.
Okay, all right.
He said, I tried to throw her a lifeline only because Doug is a friend, but she was too pig-headed to be reasoned with and walked off.
Okay.
So that, you know, that's when I had, you know, got that part. And he must have told Doug at some point in a text that the last place he saw her was walking south on Maple.
Did he tell you that that's where he saw her?
No, he didn't. That was the only thing that I got.
How did you find out that?
Well, I was sitting there when Doug was telling the story, you know.
Over here?
Yeah.
Did you arrive over there before the police arrived or after the police arrived?
Right before.
Okay, so you just got there before the passed it. Okay. I asked around, and two guys who I do not know said Nikki had left a while ago. We stayed at the sardine camp for about 20 minutes. When we left, we drove around again looking for Nikki, but could not find her. I would guess Doug tried calling Nikki at least 20 times without any answer. After looking for Nikki, I drove Doug back to his house in Ledgeview. We arrived around 2:40 a.m. Nikki was not home. The babysitter left a little while later. I left Doug's house at about 3 a.m. and went straight home.
Yeah. The babysitter was still there when I left.
Okay, so the babysitter was still there when you left.
She was still there. I mean, she was trying to call her too, you know, when we got back.
At about 9:30 a.m. this morning, I received a Facebook message from Doug who was looking for his phone. I told Doug his phone was at the house because he was trying to call Nikki from it last night. Correct?
Yeah, when we got back, yes.
Doug sent me a text message around noon and said he had found his phone and Nikki still was not home. At about 3:30 p.m., Doug texted me and asked me to come pick him up so he could go pick up his car. Upon arriving at his house, the police were on scene. Well, they weren't on scene until afterwards.
No, yeah, you just said, you know.
Who was at his house?
His parents.
Okay.
Because they were going to watch Dylan when I gave him a ride over to get his car.
As Doug stepped into the parking lot, his phone rang Nikki. But instead of reconciliation, there was only screaming. Amid fading music, Doug couldn't make sense of what was happening.
Yeah, he told me, you know, that he was going to fill out the missing persons report. If I didn't want to come now, you know, he'd let me know when they were gone. I said, well, I might as well go there. And
so police arrived while you were there?
Yeah, I got there probably about 2 or 3
I do not know where Nikki is currently located, and I did not have anything to do with her disappearance.
Yes.
What was Nikki last wearing?
I mean, black and gray striped shirt, black capris.
Okay. Do you remember what kind of shoes?
I mean, no, I'm not looking.
Was she wearing like...
I know what Doug said she was wearing. Doug said she was wearing like a medium heel, but
But
I
you
just
don't
know,
know what it was?
I mean, I wasn't looking at her feet, but
Okay.
yeah. He
Alright.
said that she was wearing gray shoes when he did.
Okay.